Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian and welcome to Stellaris Federations. This is the latest update to the game. It's not released just yet, so this is a bit of an early preview look. I was lucky enough for Paradox to reach out to me and invite me to take a look at one of the origins in this video, and we're going to go into details on that in just a minute. Do be aware this is a sponsored video and it fits rather nicely into a whole series of videos that Paradox and a whole bunch of Stellaris creators, content creators have been doing this week. So do check out all the details linked in the video description to find out more about that. So essentially, Federations is a DLC that you can pre-order right now. It comes out on the 17th of March. Again, have a look at the links in the video descriptions to find out more about those specifics. But the whole game, the base game, also comes with a few nice additions. And we're going to have a look at a few of those things from pretty much the whole update throughout the course of this video, but really the focus is on the origins, which are new starting conditions. Some of them you may recognize. They should be quite similar to you because they're very similar to the old civics, but in other regards much of this stuff is entirely new. And do keep in mind there's also a default origin which basically starts the game off in a more familiar set of conditions, basically at the default version of the game. Let's move on then and take a look. So then, here's the origins, and there's quite a few of them, as you can see. What I'm going to be looking at in this video is the Galactic Doorstep, and this starts us off with a dormant gateway in our home system. This actually gives us quite an advantage once it actually gets going, and a few advantages along the way as well, and we'll find that out as we progress through this video. There's also a bunch of other origins here. Some of them you may have seen in other videos this week, but we're not going to look at those. We're actually going to focus right on this one. So we're going to back out of there. That's already saved. We're going to select the United Nations of Earth because what I actually like to use. We're going to go with these standard settings here and off we go. So straight away in the home system here you will see the dormant gateway. It should be around here somewhere. Where is it? It's on one of the edges. Not to worry, let's read this first. Right, the Galactic Doorstep. The mysterious construct in our solar system was discovered a few hundred years ago. Due to its dark, metallic properties, the artifact was named the Black Crown, and its majestic presence had a profound effect on our society. It united our people in both spirit and pursuit. Spaceflight became the highest priority of our scientific community, and the eager quest for this technology brought with it a series of other beneficial discoveries. The Black Crown turned out to be dormant, but we learned an important lesson. It's not the destination that matters, it's the journey. And now, thanks to the beckoning of the Black Crown, our species has a means by which we can visit the stars. So let's get out there and visit those stars. So yeah, in short, it's the presence of the Black Crown out there, this dormant gateway, that gave humanity the drive to head towards the stars. So where is this gateway? It's around it somewhere. There it is. Right in front of me. Right. The Black Gateway, the Black Crown rather, looks rather inauspicious, doesn't it? And honestly, not a tremendous amount of use right at this moment. Open at the upgrade menu. Requires activation by upgrading the gateway. Requires gateway activation technology. So not something we've got right now, but it's something that will crop up a little while into the game. But as we play through, you'll see a little bits and pieces all about that. So let's start off here with getting a few extra things, I guess. Research Station Outpost, 10% monthly Unity. I think monthly Unity is probably the better option out of these two, isn't it? Let's go for that. And afterburners. Let's have some of that. So no research speed buffs there really as such this time through, but never mind, that's good enough for this playthrough. Right, first fleet, we're all right there. We've got the science ship, we're going to start sending them out. Actually, we might build another, if I've got enough stuff already. I should have right at the start of the game. Send the first science ship out in this direction, I say. I'm going to build another one over on the solar system shipyard. And we can unpause, I think. Right, that gets us going initially. So the big deal with Federations is, of course, the Federations options. We get Galactic Community. We get to create Federations as well. Those are all things that come a few years further into the game. It's not something we can look at right yet, but further into the video, once we've had a little bit of a look at what the Black Crown here is all about, what Gateway does for us, we'll move on and have a look at what the Federation does for us, what it's all about, what options there are there for us. Get some things going here. Okay, so here's the first thing that actually happens with the gate, and you can see this happens very early on. We haven't even completed the first year yet. We're still in 2200 in November, haven't even reached December, and something's happened with the Black Crown now. Let's see what it says. Without the slightest warning, the mysterious alien gateway in our home system came alive. An energy surge pulsed out from the artifact, and for a fleeting moment, a glowing, vibrating orb filled the center of the structure. This remnant of a former civilization may not be so dormant as previously thought. Although the gateway was open for no longer than a few seconds, it was enough to lit through some space debris, rocks and dust, and upon closer inspection, turned out to be valuable resources. Very nice. So right here, very early on, we get a nice big buff to both alloys gained as well as minerals gained. So not, tremendous, but very nice this early into the game to get that amount of extra resources. So we're going to accept that. We've jumped up here. I'm going to keep building up my
system survey
fleet
complete.
for the moment. Get another Corvette. I've already got one in the queue. We'll put another one in there thanks to that other 100 alloy. And we'll just keep going and allow the science ships to do their jobs over here. They're still surveying. We got one complete. System surveyed. Right. We've got that complete. Let's go and the starbase over there. Oh, we haven't got enough alloy because I just spent it. No worries. We'll wait a little while and then we'll move out to that way. What do we got here? We know without doubt that the thriving biosphere is not something unique to Earth. Both the scientific community and the public at large are eager to learn more about the various forms of alien life. A commendable initiative.
Situation log
indeed.
updated.
Okay, the second event here, coming out of the gateway, the uninvited. Once again, the slumbering gateway has come alive. This time, it was not a boon, but rather a bane. That came to us from the great unknown. A single space-dwelling creature sprang out from the glowing gateway and seems to be on the prowl, answering to no kind of hailing or warning. We should move to eradicate this threat immediately. Battle stations! So let's drop in on Earth there and see what's going on. We should see some sort of creature relatively weak in the grand scheme of things, but certainly don't want to leave this unchecked roaming around the galaxy, do we?
Spaceport under attack.
So we've got our fleet coming after it here. Only 5 ships, but should make a pretty short work of it, I would have thought. Okay, well that was pretty quick, wasn't it? Fleet, combat in Soul system. Gateway vermin is dead. Now this opens up a special project for us. We can go and deal with a trace set of components, regenerative blood tissues. Now, very early on in the game, you'll find that these events, again, only in the second year, halfway through the second year, you'll find that these events through the gateway happen fairly frequently. But as the game starts progressing, they happen at a slightly slower rate. So it's not as though the gateway's going to be bothering you consistently or constantly throughout the game. The story actually unfolds at a relatively decent pace, but very early on, it likes to basically let you know that it's still there with these little things happening. Now, I'm going to have to research the timed event, so we got 1,700 days left to research it. If we ignore it, we will lose the opportunity, so that gives us plenty of time to deal with it. I'm going to build another science ship. It's still a bit early on, kind of, for a third science ship at the moment. Kind of feels that way, but why not? It's got a use, and we can go and research some other anomalies afterward. Let's get that going, and we'll start researching that particular project, I think. Meanwhile, we have found a habitable planet over here in the Sirius system, so we're going to send our constructor over there. We're a little bit short at the moment, but we should be able to go over there very shortly, and then we will need to build up some alloy, build a colony ship. Meanwhile, we're going to keep surveying and expanding. So we're going to want a scientist for this science ship so they can go and study the remains of the gateway vermin. And now let's go for the biologist here. I'm in the science ship and go over there and study. Who knows what you're going to find? So this is going to take a little bit of time. Tell us how long it will take to research. 90 days. Not too long, actually. It's going to happen fairly quickly. Right, so the science ship is just about to complete its job, and it's done that. We have analysed debris and soul, regenerative even, solid tissue plus 10% progress, and society research 20 points. So again, not too bad. Nothing majorly significant, but a nice little bonus. Right, so I'm going with the expansion traditions over here. It's always a bit of a toss-up for me between discovery and expansion for going for first. Sometimes I like to go for research speed initially, because obviously it does make the initial spread through the stars a little bit easier, because you can survey the stars much faster. But in this case, we're going to reduce our starbase influence cost, and then we're going to go for the additional one pop new colonies, basically because we want to expand onto other planets as fast as we can. So we're at the year 2205, and once more the gateway has been activated. This time the activation lasted for only a fraction of a second. That was enough for something to cross over. An unknown metallic object of extraordinary velocity shot out of the portal and cut its way through the system. Before any sensors could get a decent reading, the object had collided with a planet in our system. We should investigate. Point of impact. It was possible. Peculiar. Peculiar indeed. Right. Look at where in our system that actually took place. It hit Venus.
Construction complete.
Yes. Talking about gateways and Venus. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Familiar story. Something unusual out of Venus. Okay, so we need to put a science ship over there. I think the one over in Barnard's Loop is actually in Barnard's Star is actually researchers. Is it? We got here towed asteroid. For some reason, someone has towed an asteroid to a stable orbit around. Oh, well, it seems you're not really doing anything. Go research Venus, because we want to know what's going on there. This one? Yeah, we should take a closer look at the crash site of the unidentified object expelled from the gateway a while ago. It will cost us a bit of engineering research. I think we can afford that, and it's well worth doing. We want to know what's going on down there on Venus. Now, I have played through this briefly before. I like to get a bit of a grip of what we're dealing with and how things work. And I tell you that the object that shoots out of the gateway doesn't always hit the same planet. In fact, on each of the playthroughs I've actually done so far, it's never yet hit the same planet. There is some variation going on there. Magician available. Colonization fever. Go for that. And we wait for this research to complete, I guess. I don't think it's going to be too long. Finishes in 13 months, so a little bit longer than I remembered, but not too bad. As I say, the cadence of the activity with the gate does slow down the more you actually progress into the game. That's no bad thing. Right, let's see what we can do with our construction ship. Now we should have another habitable world come up around it somewhere. Ah, there we go. Speak of the devil. Right. Alpha Centauri 3, another habitable world. So here's our two habitable worlds, Alpha Centauri and Sirius. We got some incoming transmission here from the Obar League of the Suns. This is where things will start getting interesting. Once we've met a certain number of races, we're going to be able to start getting involved in the federations themselves, creating federations or alternatively being invited into a federation. And of course, eventually, the more communities, the more civilizations we find out there, that eventually, when we've discovered enough of them, or most of them, we'll get access to the Galactic Community as well. Both new features with the latest update, and we'll get more into them as the time comes round. But see what we could learn much from each other. We could learn other for sure. News is spreading about our first alien encounter, and they're right on top of us. Now, I did send a survey ship all the way down there, perhaps a little bit too far out, and unfortunately it's now been cut off. Not going to be able to make its way back, at least not just yet. We can't plot a route through their space. It's not allowing us to do that. But not to worry, let's build an outpost over here and stop their progressing any further into the space that we want to occupy ourselves. Alright, so these guys got their borders closed. They're not actually going to let my science ship come back through, which is frustrating. There's no route selected. So we're going to see what we can do about that. I think, hopefully, we can send a envoy over there. Can we send an envoy over there? Open borders.
Complete.
Oh, let's have a look at this first. Locating the crash site of the mysterious probe was far more complicated than anticipated. Readings indicate that it didn't crash in a conventional sense. However, the considerable velocity of the object approaching the surface also rules out a normal landing. What really happened? It's time to take a closer look. Curious indeed. So we've discovered a new archaeological site. This science ship over in Seoul is going to be tied up for a hold on. Let's see what's going on. For a moment I thought the science ship was leaving. You know, come back. You can't go over there. We've got a new archaeological site. Rocky planet with a thick atmosphere is lethal to all known higher forms of life. Yes. Okay then, so we're going to read what's going on here. What's this all about? Our scientists have reached the impact site of the object from the gateway that crashed into Venus at incredible speed. It's clear from the look of this impact site that this was no ordinary crash landing, and our scientists are eager to investigate further. Good job. Let's assign a scientist then. Which one of these is not busy though? I think it's Krishna over in this ship in the solar system. Yep, that's it. Okay, you get to work. So that's going to take, 90 days. Not too long really in the scheme of things, and we've got a chance of a breakthrough there. Right, back to these guys. We're going to try and improve relations here by sending over an envoy. We can actually send all of our envoys here. We've only got 2 at the moment, so both of them are going to go. Although they have to stay there for 360 days. We can't reassign them during that period. But it shouldn't really matter at this point because these are really the only other species that we've discovered. So, yeah, over there you go. Let's try and improve relations and make them a little less suspicious of us. They're very suspicious and it's decreasing all the time. And we could, of course, always harm relations if we so wanted as well, kind of sabotage our relationship. Okay then, things are moving forwards. Initial reports from our excavation on Venus are both extraordinary and a bit unnerving. Analysis of the surface debris in the impact crater and its immediate surrounding revealed a surprise. Apparently, the unknown object did neither break nor break upon impact. Somehow the object managed to pierce through the soil and is now resting deep in the ground. Further excavation is ready to begin. Okay, so we got one breakthrough on the object that didn't break nor break. Let's go on to stage 2. We keep digging. Meanwhile, we are constructing a new colony ship. No, there. Over here, we're constructing the colony ship. Nearly 50% done. And we will go over and colonize Sirius with that. And I'll put another colony ship in the queue very, very quickly so we can head over towards Alpha Centauri, and then we'll start claiming these sites as well. Maybe I'll also get another construction ship underway. Looks as though we got plenty of room for expansion at the moment anyway. We haven't encountered any other civilizations, although I suspect they're probably over that side and not too far away. We're bound to run into them sooner rather than later, but let's create another science ship anyway and start surveying over here. So we're moving through this quite fast now, another stage of the dig. As the excavation project on Venus got closer to the object resting deep in the ground, our scientists started to experience strange phenomena. It's that protomolecule, isn't it? Ours were lost in the blink of an eye, new equipment suddenly breaking due to the wear and tear, areas cleared of debris, and no one remembers how. And so on. So things, very strange things. The scientific community can offer no real explanation, but one theory is that the crashed object left some kind of temporal altering residue as it impaired or impaled the planet's crust. One more minor artifact and another 90 days. Chapter 3 of the dig. Keep going. Our excavation team finally reached the final resting place for the unknown object that crashed on Venus. As it turned out, the object was of minor interest, being little more than a glorified cannonball. But the location quickly astonished the scientists. It was a huge chamber, hermetically sealed with no entry points other than the smashed hole in the ceiling where the object had come down. This was covered with strange translucent plates that our scientists are now eager to scrutinize further. So yeah, keep going. There's going to be something interesting there. A nice little extra bonus to research as well. So this empire here is growing fairly nicely. They've swallowed up our science ship, which we never actually got back. It's now gone missing in action, only to return in 2027. Actually also encountered another station over here. There's a station in this system, so we're going to backtrack here and survey these systems. Meanwhile, my constructor's going to come over here and build this out, I think. Right, an archaeological site in our empire has been fully excavated. Translucent plate. Again, very noisy. Right, the translucent plates covering the walls of the mysterious chamber found on Venus made little sense until one team member reached out and gently touched one. The room exploded in light as holographic glyphs appeared out of nowhere, row after row of glowing symbols hovering in midair. The symbols were deftly translated and the purpose of the plates in the chamber became clear. They contained detailed blueprints of an alien construction, a construction that would open the gateway, and that right there is what this origin is all about, accessing the technology to get that gateway open, which would of course bring us a nice benefit in the game. Now the gateway is in whatever star system you have, in this case the Sol system. The Black Crown of course is still inactive at the moment, but we do now have the ability to unlock it, and this isn't in the form of a technology, but yeah, later on you will have to research the gate a little more in a direct way through some technology, which will appear as an additional option here at one of those purple options. Let's just make sure. But yeah, this did catch me out initially. I did try and research it from that technology area, but it wasn't until I waited around for a few minutes and you actually get a notification here telling you that you can now research the gate a little bit more directly. And this really does bring us into some very interesting phases. Right, recent archaeological uncoverings have revealed a way to build a construct that can briefly open the mysterious gateway and allow a science ship to pass through. Warning, this is a high-risk mission. No guarantee that either the scientist or the science ship will return from such a perilous journey. Prepare accordingly.
Situation log updated.
Yeah, we are going to need another science ship for build that out. We're getting a lot of science ships here, more than I would normally have probably for this stage of the game. Actually, what was that? Let's get rid of that. Money back and our alloys back. We'll use this science ship here. You can Go and investigate the gateway as you're sitting there doing nothing anyway. Right, and we'll see what happens. And as the warning message said earlier, chances are that this ship may be in some danger. So I guess don't send a scientist out that you want to keep, because you might lose them, you might not, but you might lose them. Yeah, 25 months, so a little over 2 years. Shouldn't take too long. We'll be back on that in a minute. Meanwhile, we've got 2 planets underway with their colonization, both in Sirius and Alpha Centauri. And to actually construct here as well before the other people get in there. But I don't think they will right now. We might as well claim those systems. Get over here and get these as well.
Special project complete.
Okay, so that time certainly flew by. Yeah, we'll wait for the tradition. I'll come back to that in just a minute. But essentially, this is the result of our science ship actually researching and I guess constructing around the Black Crown. We've managed to activate it. What happens next should be interesting to say the least. So yeah, let's read it. Oh, we're getting too many interruptions here. What's going on? We can wait for that as well. Stop it! The assembled construction was finally activated. Lightning bolts shot out from the massive device and licked the slumbering gateway, making it power up. Suddenly, the gateway's distinguishing energy pulse erupted, and an ethereal glowing orb filled the gateway. The prepared science ship immediately accelerated into the glowing expanse and vanished. Momentarily afterwards, the gateway instantly powered down and returned to a state of silent majesty. Now we wait. So I don't think we actually get to see the science ship go through there. It's already vanished. It could be that I missed out while I was reading over on the galaxy map, but I suspect we don't actually get to see that. We just have to wait for the next phase. See whatever happens. So 2016, pretty much done most of this on time. We could have probably done it a little bit earlier, 2216 rather. But overall, too badly paced, but there's quite a few more phases yet. So whilst I'm waiting for the science ship to do whatever it's going to do, and who knows how long it's going to be out there, I'm slowly building up the size of my empire. You can see over on the left I've encountered another race or another species, and we try and kind of want to fill out over here and put some choke points there, or some bases to hold the choke points. And down there we've got a nice little area that's just for us. Hopefully I can get control of that northern area as well. Okay, we've got a few other things going on here. Got a spare science ship doing nothing at the moment, so I guess we should research something here. This one looks like a good, like a likely candidate, doesn't it? What do you think? Not really sure. Yeah, why not? I'm going to send this science ship over there and let them do the work. Okay. Oh, plenty of things going on meanwhile anyway. Right, you can see we've got 2 more colonies established here. We're slowly getting some population growth here. Of course, we do start out with 2 pop on each of these worlds, but we want to build them. Unfortunately, not a lot of nice districts here. They seem to be fairly evenly spread, which isn't really ideal. I'd like a load of agricultural districts on that particular world, for example, but you know, you get what you're given. And here we go, something's happening. Okay, without warning, the gateway in our home system flickered to life for a brief moment, just long enough for something to emerge from the glowing gateway core. The metal object responded to no howls, nor emitted any signals itself. Its true nature was unknown up until the moment when we managed to get a clear visual feed. It was the science ship shot into the gateway many months ago. It had aged far more than that, though. Scanners indicate the ship being more than 1,000 years old. I guess the crew's not going to be around. Of the crew, only dust remained. Yeah, they're gone. But some intact data recordings could be salvaged. The data included some marvellous descriptions of gateway technology, which is exactly what we're after, as well as an audio message left by a crew member. That future, my kind will truly know suffering on that baleful day, the day when the sky rains blue fire. Ooh, ominous. Right, intriguing. we should now get some new technology to research, which will allow us to permanently open the gate and use it as and when we please. So let's go into the technology thing here.
System survey complete.
I think it's under physics. Pretty sure I'd like to keep survey speed going, but it's 40 months left on it, so let's kind of swap it out for the gateway travel. 210 months, so quite a long while to get that done. Perhaps, no, we've got the best scientist on the job as well at the moment, pretty much. So yeah. Now the next couple of phases obviously take quite a bit of time. You saw the length of time on the research there. So what I'm going to do is jump into a different save file here and just show you how things look after that particular research has completed. So let's go and have a look at that right now. Okay, so this is after researching the gateway technology. We've now got the ability to actually activate it. The black crown is over here, still dormant. We've done anything we last saw, but we can now click on the black crown. If we just hover over there, it says the megastructure is owned by the United Nations of Earth. We know that. It requires activation by upgrading the gateway. Now, you may have remembered before it said it requires gateway activation technology. It no longer says that because we've got it. But what we do have are some pretty hefty costs for activating this thing. Right, the ancient remains of what appears to be a gateway of some sort. If repaired, this structure could enable starships to rapidly travel to other functional gateways. So, yeah, pretty expensive. Let's go ahead and do that. And the 720 days, so it's going to take, what, 2 years to actually be to the point where we can use it. But you can see things have changed a little bit there. Strange little orb in the center of the gateway. So let's skip ahead and see what happens when it's fully activated. Right, so when the black crown is activated, you can see it actually lights up. It's turned to a green icon here. A conduit through the very fabric of subspace that enables rapid travel to other gateways. So what we're going to do is send through a science ship here for experiment. Go. They're already on their way. See there actually. We can see them vanish through. Could end up somewhere very, very different. Good way to explore the galaxy. Go. There we go. So we click on the see the black crown here. I can't remember if we can see the black crown listed. I don't think it lists there, unfortunately. But what we can see is the science ship is on. Where did it go? UNS Sagan is now complete. All of the way up here. So it happens to be that the gateway is in another empire. If we were quick enough, if we'd activated this early on, we may have been lucky enough to get this unoccupied, which would be very nice because it means it would essentially be bordering our own place. If you do get a gateway in a star system in your own space and another one up here, then basically it's considered to be a neighbouring star system, and you can expand there for a very, very low amount of influence. Unfortunately, I have to move out this way or maybe down this way, and it's going to cost us a little bit more than that, but not a problem. Now, the other thing you're probably wondering about and that you'd like to see is the Galactic Community. I do have that active here. Over here, we've got some proposal queues. These are all the communities that are involved, the different empires are involved out here. The number is their diplomatic weight. Somewhere here, United Nations of Earth. You can see our weight is 520, and that's based on the number of calculations. Basically, just our diplomatic weight. So some empires have a lot more influence here. That means that their votes carry a lot more weight than other empires. Here, not very much at all. And what we'd be voting on is different proposals. These are on the Community tab. Up next, to vote on the next option here is the Cooperative Research Channel. Who have actually chosen to support this. We should establish protocols that permit the scientists of the Galactic Community to share and review discoveries more easily. So diplomatic weight from tech gains a 20% bonus, which is nice. Research station output gains a 10% bonus, but star base upkeep goes down by 5%, actually increases by 5% rather. So we could always oppose this. We could abstain from it. If we oppose it, you can see the number here actually goes down. Yeah, the difference on my weight. Or we could abstain from it, and basically it doesn't really do anything. But we're going to support that. That we've got other proposals in the queue here. These will all take time to go to the Senate floor when it's time for the vote to actually happen, which is, in this case, is in 47 days. So let's that blow through while we have a quick look at some of the other resolutions. These are all things that we could propose. So maybe we want to actually propose one of these to go to the Senate floor. There's a whole bunch of these. They range from just basically assisting yourself or assisting other people depending on your nature, and some you can even propose sanctions or war or defense against other empires, depending on really whether or not you can get the support on that, what's going on in the galaxy at the moment. Let's just go over here and have a look at this. Speed up a few seconds. Nearly there. So this will basically go to the floor now, where people will reveal their votes on it. Of course, this is a single player game, so these are all NPC empires. They're currently overall on the supporters side, but we can see at the top that the Senate is in session for, 1,785 days. That's quite a long time, isn't it? Yeah, no wonder things in politics move so slowly. But you can see here, as the people vote, we've got people moving over to the opponent section there, and 2 empires actually abstaining. So that's a very, very quick look at the Galactic Community. As you can see, it's pretty interesting, and really, depending on how you use it, it could have quite an impact on how you actually play the game. So there we have it then, a brief overview on some aspects of Stellaris Federations and one of the origins here. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.